and welcome to the latest episode of Gina's Gems, where you get to hear from the intellectual capital that is the MMA ADL team. With me today are two of my colleagues, Jen Skeeters, the senior consultant out of Denver, and Alex Hoffman, the leader of our financial services team out of our Philadelphia office. They're here to share some gems relative to the recent changes in the California State Disability Program. This is not your first rodeo, guys. Thanks for being here again.
Nice to be here.
So I'm going to provide a little background here before we get started. The California Disability Insurance Program, also known as SDI, consists of disability insurance and paid family leave, PFL. It provides wage replacement benefits to eligible workers who need time off work, and it's managed by the EDD, the Employment Development Department. So last September 30th, 2022, California signed into law Senate Bill number 951. That extends the current wage replacement to the DI-PFL benefits through the end of 2024 and increases the benefit percentages effective 1/1/25. In addition, that bill removes the taxable wage cap, which is used to calculate the SDI contribution. So I'd love to have each of you speak from your respective perspectives about these changes. Let's start with you, Jen. What will employers need to do to prepare?
Thanks, Gina. First, I just want to explain what this means for employees. So starting 1/1/24, this really only impacts employees who are earning more than $153,000 a year. Prior to 1/1/24, each year the EDD would establish a maximum wage limit, and employees were only taxed at that amount. As of 1/1/24, that maximum goes away, so employees are taxed on their full earnings. This means that an employee who, for example, makes $250,000 a year, 2023, they're paying about $1,400 a year in SDI taxes. In 2024, or actually just when that cap is removed, that amount goes to $2,250. Now, 2025, all of those increased contributions are going to go to fund increase in benefits. The SDI is a tiered benefit structure depending on your earnings. In 2025, all of those tiers get richer. So, for example, employees currently, many employees are eligible for up to 60% of their earnings from SDI. Starting in 2025, that tier moves to 70%. And some employees, those on the lower wage end, would be eligible for up to 90% of their earnings. Overall, this change will make it easier for California employees to take leave when they need it without facing significant financial hardship.
So thank you for that background. Alex, what opportunities for employers do you think this will present?
There's a few different lenses that we can look at this from. I think we'll start with those organizations who direct their employees to the state for the SDI PFL program. As well as have some form of company-sponsored STD and or some paid leaves that they're offering to their employees. As a result of these changes, there's actually going to be some potential for employer savings because a larger portion of the benefit is going to be coming from the SDI PFL program. Ultimately, this can be used to enhance benefits elsewhere or potentially subsidize new offerings that you might have been looking to implement but haven't had the means to do so. Specifically from a voluntary perspective, which we might also refer to as a self-insured VDI program in the state of California, there's once again going to be a possibility for these changes to lead to either employee and or employee savings. From the employer perspective, you can't take these increased contributions and directly pay for a program, but what you can do is take your VDI plan and enhance it to optimize the offsets via some form of employer STD top up or paid leave top up. You can, extend the durations of benefits. You can offer a higher benefit percentage. You could remove the weekly maximum or increase the weekly maximum. Alternatively, if from an employee first perspective, you can actually lower the contribution and or put a cap on the benefit, which is being removed in the SDI program as of 1/1/24. So there are opportunities for employer and employee savings from a VDI perspective, and in some unique cases, they could actually probably be both. Now, I will caveat this and say if an employer has been considering a move to a VDI plan, time is of the essence. We would recommend that if you are going to do it, sooner is better than later, because if you start a plan on January 1st, 2024, you'll actually receive those increased contributions for a 12-month period allowing you to build up some form of nest egg, or maybe we'll call it a rainy day fund in the program, because we do advise all of our VDI clients to keep some form of surplus to account for unexpected claim volatility that you're going to see within the program.
So when you talk about voluntary plans, Jen, maybe you can take this one. What should employers consider when implementing a voluntary plan?
Sure. Voluntary plans can provide a number of benefits to an employer. Probably the number one is just a better employee experience. So today, employers who have employees in states with mandated benefits, their employees are going to the state to file for their state benefits, and then they're likely also working with a TPA or carrier on their STD or paid leave, company paid leave benefits. If an employer had a voluntary plan, all of that happens in one place. An employee would only be going to the TPA or carrier, or they would only be providing medical or other paperwork to one source. They would have a clear one-stop shop of what their claim status is. Their benefits would be integrated, so there's less likelihood of an underpayment or overpayment that doesn't align with what they got from the state. And just in general, it's a more streamlined experience. Additionally, as Alex explained, there's definitely some potential for cost optimization with a voluntary plan. On the flip side, a voluntary plan is self-insured, meaning an employer is on the hook for claims regardless of how much they collect in contributions. If an employer has a really bad year and they have a very high claim volume, they have to find a way to pay those claims no matter what they've actually collected. Additionally, voluntary plans, especially in California, come with some significant administration requirements. The state will require ongoing reporting, ongoing proof of solvency, ongoing adherence to all the compliance and regulations that come with the state plan. So it would be important that an employer has the resources and potentially a consulting partner that can help them stay in compliance and have a healthy plan that's going to meet the needs of the state.
So that's a softball to you, Alex. Speaking of consulting partners, how can we, MMA, the ADL team, support employers considering a voluntary plan?
So from a financial perspective, the first question that we usually receive is, would a VDI program be viable for our organization? And we can determine this by receiving some company demographic information, some claims and leave per experience that you've had seen within your STD and paid leave programs. Some industry benchmarks we can use to forecast the program. And when we do this, we're not looking at a single year. We actually take this and build a little bit through our tools, a multi-year outlook to say that we think that this plan is or is not viable for your specific organization. Now, Jen, do you want to expand on how we help our clients outside of just the financial projections?
Sure. So if an employer does determine that, hey, I am a viable candidate for a voluntary plan, then that's where MMA can continue to support. We are available to help identify the correct administrator or carrier that you'd like to use to administer the plan. We can help with the implementation and certainly ongoing maintenance of the program, from keeping on top of all the requirements that I mentioned before to staying on top of changing regulations that may impact your voluntary plan design, to ensuring the vendor is doing what they need to administer the plan properly.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for being here today, sharing your wisdom and insights on a very complex topic we continue to monitor. For those of you watching today, don't hesitate to reach out to any of the three of us to learn more about the California SDI changing legislation or any state mandated leave and disability programs for that matter. We'll see you back here in a couple weeks for the next gem. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
For having me.